American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once said that nothing great has ever been achieved without enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. What level of enthusiasm are you bringing to your work, to your life, to your relationships? Because many times that can be the missing factor in helping us achieve the success we desire. Hi everyone, Chris Natzke here with Black Belt Leadership Speaking and Coaching with your Mind of a Champion tip of the week. Enthusiasm. We've heard it for our entire lives. You know, one of the things that I've really come to realize is that enthusiasm is oftentimes the missing link in terms of me achieving mediocre success to me achieving the success that I dream of. You know, one of the things that I've realized is things that can really get me going is watching people perform enthusiastically. I've certainly been able to see that for years in the martial arts, seeing a student who was passionate about what they were doing and then those that maybe weren't so into what they were doing. And who did I really want to teach? Who did I really want to interact with? Oftentimes it was that person with enthusiasm. Several years ago, I accompanied my son Jason to a David Gray concert. David Gray is an English artist that's been around for decades. And I have to admit, I wasn't as huge of a fan as my son was of David Gray, but I have to tell you, when I went to that 2.5 hour performance and I saw this man who had been probably touring for, a quarter of a century playing his songs, but was doing it with so much enthusiasm, I became an instant fan. It was hard not to get caught up into the enthusiasm that he brought to playing his music, even though those were songs that he had probably played thousands of times. And one of the things that I've really become also aware of is that enthusiasm is not something that happens to us. Although there are probably times that we can feel more enthusiastic than others based on what's going on in our world. But the real key to enthusiasm is it's self-generative. It's something we can create inside of ourselves. If we choose to be enthusiastic about something, what we do is it generates from the inside out and it carries over into all aspects of our lives. So what I want to share with you now is 4 ways I think that we can bring enthusiasm to our lives, to our relationships, to our professions that can help us move ahead at the rate that we want. So what's the first one? Well, the first one is visualize with enthusiasm. Visualize with enthusiasm. You know, one of the things we've come to learn is that the best of athletes in the world, even though that they're very physically gifted, the difference between, say, an Olympic gold medalist in the 100 meters isn't necessarily constantly physical attributes, but it's the ones that are able to visualize their success and see themselves breaking through that tape at record time. But the fact of the matter is just visualization doesn't do it. It's those that visualize with enthusiasm, with feeling, with heart behind what they want to accomplish. Those are the ones that really use enthusiasm and their visualization as a driving force to success. So visualize with enthusiasm. Number 2 is plan with enthusiasm. You know, there's a whole difference between looking at something that you have to do versus something that you get to do. And when there is something that we want to embark upon and we're enthusiastic about what we're going to be able to do, what we're going to be able to accomplish, what we're going to be able to experience, now all of a sudden our creative juices start to flow. And that enthusiasm can be self-generated. So just understand that. So when you're making those plans, plan with enthusiasm. Number 3 is speak with enthusiasm. You know, many times what we'll find is that the way that we move our bodies, the way that we use our voice, the way that we use our inflections, that can create enthusiasm inside of ourselves. And if you've ever been in the presence of someone who's enthusiastic and passionate about what they're doing in their lives, it's almost impossible not to start feeling it ourselves. So when you're speaking, speak with enthusiasm. And then finally, and probably most importantly, is to act with enthusiasm. Because when we're up to big things, we know that many times the bigger things that we're up to, the bigger the obstacles are. And people who are really connected with an enthusiasm inside themselves and a why as to why this endeavor is important to them, they're the ones that are able to move through the obstacles because they're driven by that enthusiasm. They're powered by that enthusiasm, almost like as an engine that keeps them moving. So there you have it, my friends. So my question for you is, where do you have an opportunity to bring a greater level of enthusiasm into your life? Where do you have an opportunity to visualize with more enthusiasm, to plan, to speak, and then also act with enthusiasm? Love to hear your comments below in terms of how you are committed to using enthusiasm to bring your life forward in the places that you want it to be. So thanks so much for watching. Love to have your comments and your shares, and we will see you next time on the Mind of a Champion Tip of the Week.